The book begins with Tommy and Annika visiting Pippi at Villa Villekulla. They find her engaging in her usual antics, such as baking cookies in bizarre ways, like using a rolling pin to flatten dough on the floor, riding her horse inside the house, and even jumping over furniture and playing strange games like upside-down tag, where everyone has to walk on their hands.
Pippi, why are you baking cookies on the floor? Asked Annika, giggling.
Because it's more fun this way, Pippi replied with a grin.
And why is your horse inside the house? Tommy questioned, eyes wide.
Horses need adventures too, Pippi exclaimed. Pippi is as unconventional as ever. She invents words, makes up tall tales, and surprises adults with her odd but effective logic. Her carefree attitude continues to contrast sharply with the more structured world of Tommy and Annika.
Pippi decides to go shopping with Tommy and Annika. While in town, she causes chaos in a candy store by trying to buy far too much candy at once, scattering sweets everywhere. She even ends up with candy stuck in her hair, much to the shopkeeper's exasperation, while the other children laugh. In a clothing store, she insists on trying on outrageous outfits in her own eccentric way, wearing mismatched shoes and an oversized hat, making the other children giggle. At a cafe, she astonishes the townspeople by effortlessly lifting a grown man who is causing trouble. The man looks shocked, while people clap and Pippi smiles proudly. Despite her strange behavior, people can't help but admire her strength and kindness. Children wave at her, and she waves back, while townspeople chat with her warmly. One night, two burglars try to break into Villa Villekulla, whispering to each other about the best way to get inside. They believe that a little girl living alone would be an easy target. However, they have no idea who they are dealing with. Pippi, amused by their attempts, decides to play along. "Oh no, burglars!" she exclaims, pretending to be scared. But then, with a swift move, she grabs them both. "You really thought you could outsmart me?" she laughs, tying them up effortlessly. Instead of punishing them, she feeds them cookies and teaches them a lesson in her own humorous way. By the end, the burglars are nodding and apologizing, having learned their lesson from the whimsical Pippi. A traveling circus arrives in town, and Tommy, Annika, and Pippi attend the show. As usual, Pippi cannot simply sit and watch. She joins in. She easily outperforms the circus strongman, lifting him over her head to the amazement of the audience. The strongman bends metal bars and lifts heavy weights, but Pippi's strength surpasses his. The ringmaster tries to keep the show on track with his tricks and commands, but Pippi's antics steal the spotlight. The clowns juggle and perform slapstick comedy, but Pippi outsmarts them at every turn. She also outsmarts the ringmaster and the clowns, turning the show into a spectacular event. The audience loves her antics, but the circus performers are left baffled by her abilities. One day, a grand ship arrives, and Pippi's long-lost father, Captain Pippi Longstocking, returns triumphantly. He has become the king of Kurakuradut Island, known for its lush landscapes and vibrant culture.
Daddy, I missed you so much. Tell me about your adventures.
Oh, Pippi, the island is a paradise. We've had grand feasts, discovered hidden treasures, and even tamed wild beasts.
Tommy and Annika are both excited and saddened at the thought of Pippi leaving.
Pippi, it sounds amazing, but we'll miss you so much.
Yes, Pippi, we don't want to lose our best friend.
The idea of Pippi as a princess is intriguing, but they also don't want to lose their best friend. Pippi is faced with a difficult choice. Should she sail away to a distant island and be a princess, or should she stay in Villa Villekulla with Tommy and Annika? For the first time, Pippi seems unsure of what to do. She considers the fun she could have with her father, but she also realizes how much she loves her home and friends. Pippi talks to Tommy and Annika about her dilemma. They listen intently, offering their support. Tommy suggests making a list of pros and cons. Pippi thinks it's a great idea. Together, they write down all the wonderful adventures she could have with her father, and all the special moments she shares with her friends at home. Pippi realizes that no matter what she chooses, she will always have a place where she belongs. In the end, Pippi decides to stay. She tells her father that she is happy in Villa Villekulla and doesn't want to leave Tommy and Annika behind. Captain Longstocking understands and respects her decision. He sails away, promising to visit again. Pippi, Tommy, and Annika celebrate her decision by having a grand feast with cakes, lemonade, and laughter. They share stories, play games, and enjoy each other's company, making it a day to remember. The next day, Pippi, Tommy, and Annika decide to go on a treasure hunt in the nearby forest. Pippi, always full of surprises, reveals an old map she found in her attic. The map is filled with mysterious symbols and clues, leading them to believe that a hidden treasure awaits them. With spirits high and hearts full of excitement, they set off on their adventure. The first clue on the map leads them to a giant oak tree with a hollow trunk. Inside, they find a riddle written on a piece of parchment. To find the next clue, seek the place where the water sings and the frogs dance. They quickly realize the riddle points to the forest's bubbling brook. At the brook, they search high and low until Annika spots a small wooden box hidden under a rock. Inside the box, another clue awaits them. Where the sun kisses the ground, the golden key will be found. The children ponder the clue and decide to head to a sunny meadow they often play in. There, amidst the wildflowers, Tommy discovers a shiny golden key buried in the soil. Excitedly, they follow the map to the final location, a hidden cave guarded by ivy and moss. Using the golden key, they unlock a heavy wooden chest inside the cave. To their delight, the chest is filled with glittering jewels, old coins, and curious trinkets. But the real treasure is a letter from an old adventurer, encouraging them to always seek out new adventures and cherish their friendships. Overjoyed by their discovery, Pippi, Tommy, and Annika decide to leave the treasure in the cave, taking only the letter as a memento. They return to Villa Villekulla, their hearts full of joy and their minds buzzing with the promise of many more adventures to come. After their thrilling treasure hunt, Pippi, Tommy, and Annika decide to celebrate their adventure with a grand talent show at Villa Villekulla. Pippi, brimming with enthusiasm, quickly sets up a makeshift stage in her backyard, complete with colorful banners and twinkling fairy lights. Gap 3S, invitations are sent out to the entire neighborhood, and soon the yard is filled with excited children and curious adults, all eager to see the performances. The show begins with Tommy playing a lively tune on his harmonica, his foot tapping in rhythm as the audience claps along. Next up is Annika, who gracefully performs a ballet routine, twirling and leaping with a smile that lights up the stage. Gap 3S. As the applause dies down, Pippi takes the stage, her eyes twinkling with mischief. She announces that she will perform a series of amazing feats, starting with juggling flaming torches. The crowd gasps as Pippi effortlessly tosses the torches in the air, catching them with ease and flair. Pippi then transitions to a daring tightrope walk, balancing on a rope strung between two tall trees. With each step, she performs playful tricks, such as walking backward and even doing a handstand, much to the delight of the audience. Gap 3S. The grand finale features Pippi's unique talent of lifting her horse, Little Old Man, high above her head, showcasing her incredible strength. The crowd erupts in cheers and applause, amazed by Pippi's extraordinary abilities. As the sun sets, the talent show comes to an end with a group performance. Pippi, Tommy, Annika, and their friends join together to sing a joyful song about friendship and adventure. The audience joins in, their voices blending in harmony, creating a heartwarming atmosphere. With the final note sung, the yard is filled with laughter and cheer as everyone celebrates the success of the talent show. Pippi, Tommy, and Annika share a group hug, their bond stronger than ever, and their hearts filled with the promise of many more joyous moments to come. Following the excitement of the grand talent show, Pippi decides to spend the next day helping the townspeople with various tasks, showcasing her incredible strength and boundless kindness. Early in the morning, Pippi spots Mrs. Larson struggling with a heavy basket of laundry. Pippi rushes over, lifting the basket effortlessly and carrying it to Mrs. Larson's house. Mrs. Larson thanks Pippi profusely. Next, Pippi helps Mr. Svensson fix a broken fence. She lifts the heavy planks with ease and nails them into place. Mr. Svensson smiles warmly and thanks Pippi. Pippi then retrieves a ball from a tall tree for some children. She climbs the tree swiftly, grabbing the ball and tossing it back to the delighted children. Their cheers of joy echo through the town. Later, Pippi helps Mrs. Johansson set up her vegetable stand. Pippi arranges the vegetables neatly and helps attract customers. Mrs. Johansson gives Pippi a basket of fresh produce in gratitude. As the sun sets, Pippi helps the local baker deliver bread to the elderly. She carries the heavy baskets, bringing smiles to their faces. Mr. Olson thanks Pippi with a warm loaf of bread. By the end of the day, the townspeople gather around Pippi, showering her with thanks. Pippi's heart swells with joy as she realizes how much her kindness has meant to everyone. With a final wave, Pippi heads back to Villa Villekulla, her heart filled with warmth. Like and subscribe for more bedtime stories in 10 minutes.